Magandang araw, Podmate. Si Howie Severino muli na may kasama na namang dakilang Pilipino. Si Kenneth Abante, the class valedictorian of Ateneo de Manila University in 2012, who has become the rare analyst activist. His research has helped guide civil society groups for the last several years, and before that, he was in the Department of Finance in the Aquino administration. Obviously, this is an idealist who has kept true to the ideals that he expressed in his commencement speech as valedictorian at Ateneo, and now he is one of the guiding lights of the Move is One coalition, among other groups active in civil society. But I want to ask him about transport first because kadadating ko lang, no, nagmadali ako para sa interview na to. Galing akong Batangas at dumaan na naman ako doon sa SLEX Skyway traffic nightmare, no, on a Friday. Kenneth, unang-una, magandang araw sa iyo and congratulations on all your achievements.
Magandang araw, Howie. Maraming salamat at hello po mga kapodmates.
Thank you for joining us. Ken, no, basically what I went through today is just the proof of your concept. Yung sinasabi ng mga advocate na gawa tayo ng gawa ng mga expressway, highway, infrastructure para sa mga motor vehicles, private vehicles, pero hindi talaga tayo makakahabol doon sa point na talagang malayang dadaloy lang yung traffic, no? Ano ba yung basic theory behind that? Bakit gawa tayo ng gawa ng infrastructure pero nagkaka-traffic pa rin? Parang hindi gumagaan yung traffic, Ken.
Opo, yung traffic po kasi, yung major cause niyan, yung pagdadrive ng isang kotse, a four-wheeled motor vehicle. Hindi po kasya ang lahat ng kotse sa buong bansa at hindi kakasya sa kalsada natin. Ang mahalaga pong gawin ay ipatransfer po at hindi gawing dependent or hindi tayo gawing bilanggo sa ating mga kotse. No, kailangan po, meron tayong sistema ng public transport at sistema ng pagbibisikleta at sistema ng paglalakad na komportable para hindi tayo magmaneho at para hindi tayo bilanggo sa ating mga kotse. Yun lang po, napakasimple lang po ng teorya. Meron din pong pangalawang bahagi ito. Ang tinatawag naman po dito ay induced demand. Gumagawa ka ng gumagawa ng kalsada, mas gusto tuloy ng mga taong magmaneho. Pwedeng maging maluwag siya kapag binuo yung skyway o nagkaroon ng konting pagpapalapad ng kalsada. Pero as time goes by, mas dadami yung sasakyan at lalong matatraffic. No, kaya mahalaga na meron tayong sistema ng pampublikong transportasyon na ligtas, makatao at para sa lahat.
Okay, itong mga sinasabi mo, no, parang common sense lang, di ba? The logic is very simple, hindi ito rocket science. Yep. At nagets na sa ibang bansa, no? I mean, late last year, nagpunta akong Korea sa Seoul, no? Nag-tren at nag-bus at naglakad lang ako. Nakita ko yung buong lungsod. All the sites were accessible by public transportation. And ay iniisip ko, no, this is the country that sells us cars. Di ba? So, bakit nagigets sa ibang bansa? I mean, dumaan din yung Korea at maraming bansa sa Europa that that have seen the light, no, of what you're talking about. Dumaan din sila dito sa car-centric na modelo ng transport, no? Pero nag-gets nila at ngayon ang emphasis nga nila is yung itong inclusive mobility na sinasabi ninyo, no, na moving people rather than vehicles, no? Pero sa atin we keep building ito nga, build, no, na infrastructure for moving vehicles rather than people. Why can't we get it here in the Philippines?
Opo, I think maraming bahagi po siya, no? Pero nakatatak sa mga isip at puso ng ating mga decision makers na yung ating mga syudad ay para sa kotse. No? And medyo deep po yung history niyan, no? Even American urban planning, ganyan po, no? Even the colonial legacy may ganyan. So, medyo matagal talagang proseso to ng pag-unlearn. Pero yung marami pong mga bansa na yung natututo. Kasi po, mas nakikita nila na if we create a city really for our persons with disabilities, so that they can move in our cities comfortably, safely, inclusively, then it'll be better for everyone. No, meron nga po kaming tinatawag diyan na parang ang test ay lola lolo test, no? Isipin mo na ikaw yung lola at lolo mo, no? Either nakasaklay ka, medyo malabo na yung paningin, o nag-wheelchair, no? Try mo kayang pumunta mula sa isang bahagi ng, for example, Metro Manila, papunta sa isa pang bahagi ng Metro Manila, QC. Magagawa mo ba yun ng ah, walang kasama? Kapag yung sagot doon ay hindi pa inclusive yung syudad mo. No? At mahalaga pong malaman yung konsepto na to kasi kapag nagkaroon po tayo ng mas maraming tao at mamamayan na para kay lolo at para kay lola, no, para sa ating mga mahal sa buhay, mga buntis, mga nanay, mga bata na kailangang kumilos sa ating mga syudad, kapag para sa kanila yung ating mga syudad, edi mas okay po to para sa lahat. No? So we need to build a system of support so that our decision makers see that this is the way to go. This is how we should build cities. There's a change of mind and change of heart, a persuasion that needs to happen with our decision makers. Pero yung problema po, mas malalim po, no? I think ito po yung problema ng empathy, no? Problema ng mas basic na malasakit. No, kung nakikita po natin at kung tayo mismo ay mag-wheelchair sa syudad natin at makita nating mahirap, hindi natin gagawin na yung syudad natin ay ganito um, ka uh, kabako-bako yung mga walkways, ang daming mga overpass na hindi naman maakyat ng mga tao. Kung ganito po yung tingin natin, kapag mas malalim po tayong malasakit, sa tingin ko, mas marami sa ating mga decision makers ay mas makikita rin yung liwanag. Yung po yung sinasabi ninyo.
Why did you decide on this field of advocacy? Marami naman sektor na pwedeng pagpilian na lalo na yung katulad mo, dahil mong skills, 'di ba? You're well educated. Bakit ito yung tinututukan mo ngayon?
Actually, dati po sa Department of Finance, na-assign po ako sa infrastructure cluster niya. So yung mga advocates po ngayon na nakikita natin sa civil society, mga nakatrabaho ko po before in their different capacities. Pero for a time, medyo nag-pause muna ako, nag-aaral po ako. Pero pagbalik ko po dito at nangyari yung pandemic, nagkaroon po ng alarm during the pandemic. Yung ilan kong mga kaibigan who are in the field of advocacy. Naalala ko si Anton si Good Kid Bike City sa Twitter. Siya yung laging nagtutweet tungkol sa public transport. Sinabi niya, nung sinuspinde ng gobyerno yung public transport supply, ang daming mga healthcare workers na kinailangan maglakad ng 3 o 4 na oras para alagaan tayo. Tapos sabi ko, parang hindi to pwede. No? There was really an emergency. No? And during that time, we had been involved in analyzing the COVID-19 budget. No? Kasi mas public finance po talaga yung background ko, public finance and budgeting. So inaaral namin yung budget. Tapos sabi nung ilan sa mga advocates, uy, mukhang ito na yung tamang time. No? COVID-19 is a reason for us to put these budgets in then the Bayanihan to Recover as one act. So inaral namin yung unang act, yung Bayanihan to Heal as one, yun yung Bayanihan 1. Yung Bayanihan 2, eto na, mukhang may pagkakataon kasi yung healthcare workers nagde-demand na merong maayos na public transport system, merong maayos na bike lanes. The transport workers were also demanding better contracts. So, kinalabit lang ako ng ilan sa mga kaibigan. Uy, di ba nagbabudget ka? O sige, halika magtulong-tulong tayo. Parang it was an excuse for all of us to come together and to try to make together work. Kumbaga, iba-iba yung mga fields namin. So, mga persons with disabilities, may mga urban planners, may mga healthcare workers, may mga transport workers unions. Lahat po kami nagsama-sama at sabi namin, okay, dito sa budget na to, sa Bayanihan to Recover as One, we need to claim our space and we need to push our decision makers to put the budget for these things that we really need. Hanggang sa, yun nga po, nabuo yung first nationally funded protected bike lane networks in Manila, Cebu, and Davao, worth around 1 billion pesos. So it's the first ever national budget funded for protected bike lanes in the Philippines na systemic. Nagkaroon ng funding for service contracts para po sa mga transport workers natin para hindi na boundary system sila. No, yung gustong sabihin, mas fixed na po at mas stable yung income nila para hindi na nagkikit-kitan sa daan at nagko-compete para sa pasahero. At yung budget din po, no, para doon sa mga tinatawag nating just transition para sa modernization program nung pag-upgrade quote unquote ng mga jeep, no. Pero marami pang issues doon. Pero at least napakita natin by coming together and working together to engage the House, engage the Senate, engage the Transportation Department and Public Works and Highways Department. Kapag sama-sama po at tulong-tulong, mukhang may pag-asa. No, kahit itong bagay na parang sa tingin natin wala ng pag-asa. Yung problemang to.
Well, I'm also a bike commuter, no? Mga mahigit isang dekada na akong bike commuter sa Maynila. So alam ko yung mga panganib, alam ko rin yung frustrations, exasperation, sometimes desperation, ano. So nung the last couple of years, nung itong ang lumawak nga yung network of bike lanes, no? Parang at least may matinong nangyari noong sa ating crisis ng pandemya, no? And I'm just realizing na this is really an alignment of various factors, no? Hindi lang to yung gobyerno na kumilos dahil nga hindi makapasok yung mga frontliners, no? This is also a product of years of advocacy, no? Yung mga people who are advocating not just bicycles but the walkability of our cities and inclusivity ng transportation, ano. And nakita ko yung isang contribution mo rito, Ken, no? Kasi because of your background in finance and your grasp of the national budget, etc. No? One of your contributions was you wrote this paper, no? Itong Move People, Not Just Cars.
Yes.
Nabasa ko to, no? Correcting the systemic underfunding in national road-based public transport in the Philippines. Basically, yung isang conclusion mo rito is talagang sobrang lopsided yung budget, no? In favor of private cars. And you were able to show through the numbers. It was very clear in the graphs and in the tables that you presented. But I'm just wondering, what was your reaction to this paper, no? Someone like me, parang ako namangha ako na, wow, this is really a very strong argument, no, in shifting resources, no? But what would you say was the impact of this kind of research on policy?
Opo. So just really interesting numbers po that came out, no. From 2010 to 2021, 12-year period po yan, 2.8 trillion pesos po yung binudget ng pamahalaan para sa road infrastructure. 1% lang po niyan yung para sa pagpapalawak ng supply ng public transport para sa protected bike lanes. Siguro po mas basic po kasi yung kailangan nating pag-intindi sa budget, pera natin yan at buwis yan ng mamamayan, no? Kaya dito po, kung 1% lang yung binibigay na atensyon sa 94% ng tao na walang kotse, hindi ba mali itong pagpaprioritize ng resources natin? Hindi ba ito hindi makatarungan? So yung naging reaction naman po doon sa argument na yun, it became clearer to the Transportation Department na mas kailangan ng ganong klaseng prioritization. No, we've talked to the secretaries, no, then Secretary Tugade, now Secretary Bautista. We've talked to their undersecretaries in charge of road, and there's a new one, new road leadership, no new undersecretary yet. So we are trying to build a relationship with them to help them when they defend their budget in Congress. No? Kasi kailangan po talaga nila ng tulong to make the argument na this is a better uh, push for resources. May mga good news na po tayo, no? Pero para sa amin, para as advocates, hindi pa talaga siya enough. Pero may progress. No, from 2020 to 2023, no, the years where we advocated for these budgets, 32 billion pesos na po yung na-push nating budget dyan. No, sadly, hindi pa lahat na-implement. Ibang issue yon. Yung pangalawa, tiningnan din po namin yung kung ano yung plano for the next decade. Yung nakita naman po namin doon, medyo lopsided din. So 2 trillion pesos po yung budget para sa transport infrastructure pipeline. Pero karamihan doon para sa rail. 98% of that pipeline is rail. Mahalaga, napakahalaga. Pero mararamdaman lang natin siguro mga 5 years from now, 7 years from now. Pero yung mga road infrastructure improvements and road transport supply improvements, yun yung mararamdaman natin ASAP. Pero 2% lang yun. Yung nangyari po dito, meron ng systemic shift po no, sa investment programming ng pamahalaan because of this siguro more technocratic approach but also political approach in advocating for this. Meron ng increase in a 700 billion peso increase in investments for the future for the active transport network, meaning yung bikes and pedestrian infrastructure, service contracts, equity subsidy, tsaka mga bagong series of bus rapid transits. So, meaning there has been a systemic shift, at least in how government has communicated its investment pipeline. And we should be very happy about this, actually. You will see in our coalition page in the next few in the next few weeks these numbers. Pero this is really good news. This is really good news. It is one thing though to say it in the investment pipeline. It's another thing to have it implemented. Marami pong mga barriers to implementation. No? Maraming mga ahensya ng pamahalaan na parang ayaw mag-allocate ng mas malaking road space para sa mga bisikleta at para sa mga wheelchair at para sa paglalakad. So kailangan po nating magtulong-tulong para yung mga ahensya po na ito ng pamahalaan na car-centric pa po mag-isip, no? Ay mas magkaroon ng malasakit para sa karamihan talaga ng ating mga Pilipino na wala naman talagang kotse.
In preparing for this interview, Ken, no, I contacted one of the co-authors of this paper, si Saiza Susara.
Zai.
No? Yeah, si Zai. Sabi, and then share ko lang sa iyo, no, yung sinabi niya. At sabi niya yung Ken's unique contribution is his ability to bridge policy research with concrete action. He's a prolific researcher and a skilled community organizer. No? Ken was instrumental in mainstreaming our fiscal and budget research analysis among CSOs involved in national and local advocacies.
Kasi naman ang beshi ko.
Basically, ang sinasabi niya, it's not enough to have heart. No, you really need to apply brain power to these problems. No, and sinasabi niya, you bring both to the table. But I want to ask you lang about your background because you did graduate as valedictorian, and you came from the province, no? So Bicol, you didn't come from one of these elite Manila schools. But you ended up at the top of your class. I think you took management engineering, no? In Ateneo. Why have you decided to devote your talents, your education to service, to this kind of work rather than there are a lot of other people who do a few years of service for the community, they go to the province, etc. And then they come back, they join the corporate world and you start a family and all of that, no? But ikaw parang 10 years later, you're still involved in community service and you're achieving these things, no? You're having an impact on policy. So basically, what are your motivations?
Yeah, I think yung una po I was a scholar all my life. Like starting I think starting fourth grade. So until grad school, scholar po ako. And I think ingrained po sa akin yung how to pay it forward. Pangalawa po, I think I come from a family of civil servants and public servants. And we see public service as actually parang desirable No, para po sa pamilya namin, it's especially both mother side and father side na maganda to serve the public. And yung pangatlo po, I think it's and it's faith, I guess. I have faith in the country. I have faith in Filipinos. I and I believe as a Catholic that everyone is loved by God, and so we are here to be the presence of God to others. And malalim po yung motivation na yun in choosing this career, even sometimes when it gets really hard. Like, for example, in some of our movements now, we're having a really tough time. Pero, yun nga po kapag may pananampalataya na kapag tulong-tulong at sama-sama may pag-asa, parang
Well, I'll just jump in, no? Kasi sabi mo, you have faith, no? You have faith in the country, no? What gives you faith in the country? Kasi, there's a lot of hand-wringing, a lot of soul-searching now, no? About how we feel about this country. What gives you faith?
Every time we call for help and ask for help in our social movements, people always help. Filipino people have never failed these movements. I think hindi po totoo yung sinasabi ni yung mga Pinoy, mga Filipino ay wala disiplina, di ba? Kwenta, di ba? Parang yun yung experience ko eh. Sometimes that happens, but most of the time my experience of being in community with fellow Filipinos has been one of deep generosity, kindness, and that's part of what gives me faith. Even during the past elections, I campaigned for another candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And the candidate didn't win. I was so heartbroken. Pero we are still in this country, and it is this country that raised me. And I owe it everything. I owe this country everything. So I want to pay it forward.
Maraming salamat, Kenneth Abante, a college valedictorian who has devoted his analytical and research skills to social causes. Mabuhay ka, Ken. Thank you for your work in creating bike lanes.
Thank you po. Community effort po talaga siya. Can't do it without the whole community. Maraming salamat po.
Yes.
And if you want to volunteer, please go to our Facebook page po sa Move as One Coalition. We have our other work in We Solve Foundation po. We'll also share some of those links. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino Podcast, an original for GMA News and Public Affairs. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.